Hi there, and welcome. Are you ready to dive into today's story? Good, because this one might just change the way you speak English forever. Today, I want to tell you a story, but not just any story. It's a story about a real human challenge, something almost every English learner struggles with, the battle between your brain and your mouth. Yep, that moment when your mouth wants to speak but your brain says, hold on. Is this correct? Are you sure? What if you sound silly? And suddenly, your confidence drops, your heartbeat rises, and your fluency gone. Let me take you on a journey into the life of someone who finally learned the art of speaking English without thinking too much. Medium White Star, the story of Maya, the overthinker who learned to speak freely. So picture this. A young woman named Maya sits in a coffee shop in London. She's been studying English for years, grammar books, vocabulary lists, YouTube videos, you name it. But whenever she tries to speak, her brain becomes a traffic jam. She sees the barista walking toward her and instantly panics. Her thoughts race. Or should I say, can I have, or could I get? Wait, is it latte or latte? Or how do British people order politely? By the time her mind finishes arguing with itself, the barista is already standing in front of her. Maya's voice shakes as she whispers, I want coffee, please. She knows she could speak better. She wants to speak better. But her overthinking keeps holding her hostage. One day, tired of feeling stuck, she decides to change. Not by studying more grammar, but by changing the way she thinks. Medium White Star, the day everything changed. One morning, Maya heard a phrase that flipped a switch in her brain. English is not a test. It's a tool. That's when she realized something powerful. She didn't need to be perfect. She needed to be understood. So she decided to try a new approach. Instead of preparing sentences in her head like a script, she told herself, just speak. Mistakes are okay. That day, she gave herself a challenge. She would speak English without checking grammar in her head first. And guess what? She didn't just improve, she transformed. Medium White Star Maya's new habits and how they can change your life too. Here's how Maya trained her brain to stop overthinking and start speaking naturally. 1. She started narrating her life out loud. While cooking breakfast, she'd say, I'm cutting the tomatoes. Now I'm boiling water. Okay, time to make tea. This simple habit helped her think in English automatically. 2. She practiced free talking. Every night, she set a timer for 2 minutes and spoke non-stop. No grammar checking, no stopping, no judging. This exercise helped her speak even when her brain was tired. 3. She used chunks instead of single words. Instead of memorizing vocabulary list after vocabulary list, she memorized phrases like, actually, I was thinking. To be honest, let me see. That reminds me of. From my point of view. Chunks made her speech sound natural and helped her brain think faster. 4. She shadowed her favorite speakers. She would listen to a short clip of someone speaking naturally and repeat it instantly. This trained her rhythm, intonation, and confidence. 5. She learned to breathe. Whenever she felt anxious, she inhaled deeply and reminded herself, it doesn't have to be perfect. Because perfection is not fluency. Confidence is. Medium White Star, the first time she spoke without overthinking. One afternoon, Maya walked into the same coffee shop where she once froze. This time, the barista approached her and asked, what can I get for you today? And instead of panicking, Instead of translating, instead of checking grammar, Maya simply smiled and said, "You know what? I'll go for a latte today. Thanks." Smooth, natural, confident. She surprised herself. In that moment, she wasn't studying English. She was living in English. Medium white style, the real lesson for you. Here's what Maya learned and what you should remember too. English doesn't need to be perfect to be powerful. Communication matters more than grammar. Confidence grows through action, not perfection. Thinking less often means speaking more. When you stop overthinking, your fluency opens up. You start reacting faster. You start enjoying conversations. And you begin to sound more natural, not because you're perfect, but because you're real. Underscore 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 underscore. Medium white style, a quick tip you can use right now. Try this phrase when your mind freezes. White right pointing backhand index. Let me think for a second. This simple expression gives your brain time to breathe, and it sounds natural in any conversation. Native speakers use it all the time. Useful phrases like this make speaking easier, smoother, more confident. Medium white style, the end of Maya's story, and the beginning of yours. Maya didn't become fluent by memorizing every grammar rule. She became fluent by trusting herself, by letting the words flow, by enjoying the language, by understanding that English is not an exam, it's a doorway to connection. And that is what I want for you. So if you're listening right now, remember this. Your English journey is not about being perfect. It's about being brave. Speak, even if you're unsure. Talk, even if you make mistakes. Let your ideas flow. Trust your voice, because the world needs your voice, not your silence. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who needs a little confidence boost. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Tell me which part of this story spoke to you the most. Thank you for being a part of the Best English Listening podcast.